lights on. Oh, you'll hear the strange old trekkers come dig what they're doing.
Hey, good evening to you. Hi there. I don't know. That was a weird accent that just came out of my mouth. I think Roger Corddry affected me. We'll get to that. Oh my gosh, what a big episode of Strange Old Trekkers we've got here. This is our second episode because we did start with part one of Hegemony from that's the series. I'm sorry. What are you, English? That's the season 2 ender, Hegemony. Well, right now, we're about to start part 2 of Hegemony, the Big Gorn Attack, and we should get this this thing rolling, shouldn't we? How do I do this here? I'm only the guy who runs the whole thing. What in the world am I doing? Okay, well, it's not just me. It is the entire crew of SB80 that is here to make life fun for you. There we are, SB80. Ha! And let me bring on my first officer, the man who really gets things done around here, folks. It is Commander Joe Townsell. How are you, Mr. Townsell?
Captain John, I'm doing excellent. I got to tell you, I'm so excited for this double header of a premiere week for Strange New Worlds. All I can say is, I think we're all going to be wild. Let's go, baby.
It's just going to get worse, folks.
Yes, it is.
Gonna get worse. Let's go down below decks and talk to Chief Pettiness Officer Eric Kramer. Chief Kramer, how are you, sir?
Oh, face and palm.
Is the season over yet?
Oh,
Because
Oh, my God.
it feels like I'm going to start drinking on this show. That's what I'm going to do.
Well,
I don't know why you stopped, Eric, to be honest.
A, we don't know why you stopped. And B, Strange New Worlds is a very unusual show. And a lot of
It's the most polite word I've heard to describe it yet.
a lot of people really dig it. I think you're the same as me, guys. So let's start with you, Joe, because I know you're the same as me in this instance. Every time I watch Strange New Worlds, I just open my eyes and ears. I just want it to tell me its story. Just be a Star Trek show. Is it the same for you?
Well, sure, of course. I mean, we talked last week and we embrace the episodic format. We like the continuing story elements, to be sure. But we do like the episodes and the standalone stories. But there are elements that are challenging, and there's another word that Eric will like. And unfortunately, we're going to get into some of those challenges in both episodes tonight, I think.
Mr. Kramer, have your feelings changed about Strange New Worlds?
No, look, here's the thing. I truly am cheering for this show. I really am.
Right.
I'm a huge cheerleader for this show. I so want it to succeed. And I like all the actors. I have some obviously I like more than others. It's parts of me just wishes that I wasn't raised on the original series. And
Wow.
the original interpretations of not just character, but how a starship should work.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I mean,
We touched on this a little bit before, where sometimes the Enterprise feels more like a frat house than it does than it does an actual starship that's sent out there to represent Earth.
The interesting thing, and I really I hope people watch our show for this. Like, we were little kids when the original series came out, but we grew up on it. We love it. I mean, TOS, there was a long period of my life where I was like, I don't need to ever see another episode again. And just doing these shows and watching them again, I'm like, no, this is the best.
No, you got to go back and watch it, because here's the thing. if you are going to base this new series on characters that already exist, and if you are going to, for the most part, try and stay true to that timeline and the characters that they go in the galaxies and the planets that they discover.
All right.
Jesus Christ. Like, could we at least try?
I don't know why it makes me happy that you're in such a deep emotional hole, but for some reason that's entertaining.
I'll tell you why. And it's really only because of one specific character. And
okay. You can boil it down. Do so.
Yeah, no. I can't. Honestly, I can't. If I was part of the crew, I might start a mutiny against the captain, but I do like him. But it really boils down to one character, and I'm wearing his color.
Are you talking about Spock?
Oh my
No.
God. Yes.
Oh yeah, like, it has to be.
I can't believe if we've watched the same show that you guys would be asking me, could it be Spock? Yes, it's fucking Spock.
I really like Spock on this show. I really like him. It's not his fault. It's
I'm not blaming him. I'm not blaming the actor. Do you know
not Ethan Peck?
This isn't. I actually thought in the beginning it was really good cast, and it still is really good casting. I just can't believe what they are doing to this character.
Ensign Rosario asks, are our opinions based on nostalgia?
Yes, of course it is.
I
would say Nimoy is the gold standard.
Yeah, I would say yes, obviously, because the entire franchise is based on that series.
Yes.
Like,
absolutely.
Someone could say like, oh, you guys are just old and you like old Trek. Yeah, and you do too, because you wouldn't know any of this stuff without us, without our old Trek.
Do, but I'm going to offer something a little bit to that mix.
Please do.
Okay, nostalgia, fine. We embrace that. However, there is a lack of continuity in this show, and I'm not even referring to events or circumstance. I'm referring to characterization, which is what Eric is referring to.
Yes.
Spock is very non-Spock-like. It has nothing to do with Ethan Peck.
Absolutely.
Given the right dialogue and situations, he could shine too. But for him to walk around sulking for not one but 2 episodes 1 week.
Oh my God. How much fucking crying is going on in this series right now? How much fucking crying is going on in this series right now?
You would think they would have learned after Discovery that there's no crying in Star Trek baseball.
Oh my God. Do you know, like there is a sense of these are people that are fucking running a starship that are supposed to be going off on missions. Could we be just a little bit fucking professional and hold it together? Like, not everything has to be fucking weepy.
I think it's all about the drama. I really think that the modern sensibility of what drama is crying. Like they can't carry in the writing, and Joe Townsend is a novelist, so he can speak to the writing and the acting, and Eric Kramer is a fantastic actor. You guys can definitely speak to the levels of influence that are going into these shows, and as fans, you can speak to that as well. So I guess my question is it from the tippity top? We don't have Gene Roddenberry anymore. So is it from Alex, what's his name, and those other what's their names? And is it from them? And the fact that this show is only going to last for 2 more seasons, There's a fourth and a fifth planned, and a very shortened fifth season as well. I'm Alec Kurtzman. I'm constantly thinking that everybody over Paramount is just whistling and, whittling, waiting for this show to die so they can relaunch it again.
Well, that's probably true, but if in another universe had the Paramount Plus continued on its current track, I don't think that would have instigated the change. This has just been the nature of the franchise since 2017 when Discovery debuted.
Yeah.
We are emotional. We are weepy. And, it just doesn't sit well when we get to a Captain Pike type character who, as Eric pointed out last week, you go back to the cage.
Jesus Christ.
I mean,
in
he's
the middle of
a tough
crisis, they cut to Pike, and he's in the fucking captain's chair, laid out like this. What the fuck?
Help me, number one. Help me.
You were a member of that bridge crew, and you just happened to look over your shoulder. You don't think everybody on that bridge crew is giving everybody second looks like, are you
Yeah.
shit?
At least Ortegas wasn't there to make smart ass remarks at the beginning. So
I'll tell you, there are moments where I missed her. There are really moments where I missed Erica on the bridge, but let's get into it.
And again, this isn't a comment on the actors. It's just fucking story. Why can't whatever?
it's the writing and the direction of the series that's at fault in these instances. Absolutely.
I am going to launch us into, we're not going to spend any real time on Genesis because there isn't a lot of information about these episodes, not a lot of behind the scenes stuff to discuss. So let's just get right into the beats. Now, if you've never seen our show before, when we do the beats, it's Joe Townsend, genius of putting together basically the Mad Magazine recap of what has happened in the show. And Townsend is he's a wild man. He is a wild man. So
Thank you, sir.
let's get this out there.
Will Riker defeat the Borg and rescue his beloved Picard? Oh, wait. Wrong, but very similar cliffhanger.
Oh, and because this is a really long beats, because we have 2 episodes, feel free at any point to wave me down and I'll hit pause and we can talk.
That's good.
All right, here we go. Back into it.
Will Pike defeat the Gorn and rescue his beloved Batel? Those wascally Gorn are at it again. Find out now as Strange Old Trekkers recap and review Hegemony Part 2. We're hip deep in Gorn fighters as we resume the high-stakes action from 2 years ago. Pike is wandering around the bridge, wondering what the hell to do next. The big lizard bullies are preying upon human colonists and some of his crew. To top it off, his girlfriend is in sickbay, serving as a living incubator to a bunch of baby Gorn. Number 1 provides the long shot potential solution. Launch a tracking device inside a torpedo housing, then warp the hell out of there. Hit it, says Pike, but with a lot less enthusiasm than usual.
Good read.
But enough sulking and hand-wringing. Pike grows a pair. He makes a strong case to Admiral April to rescue the colonist. April gives his unofficial blessing to kick some lizard butt. Scotty is frantically working on a way to upgrade his neat stealth device to make the Enterprise look like a Gorn ship, at least on their sensors. Weary of watching Scotty drag his feet, Pelia tricks him into getting the device working. Ah, a miracle worker in the making. Uhura and Number 1 continue their busy work from Part 1 of this episode, but it will pay off later. So the crew has enough to work with to cross into Gorn territory. Surprise! They find the Gorn homeworld, kept nice and toasty between binary stars. They arrive just as a huge Gorn armada is heading to Federation space. Pike wants to go in guns a-blazing, but number one talks him off that ledge. The Enterprise vamooses, but only for now. Hang in there, away team. We'll be back. In sickbay, Chapel is struggling to help Batel, as M'Benga is trapped on the Gorn vessel. All simulations for a Gorn egg extraction result in 100% fatal outcome. Spock offers to help out his ex-girlfriend to help Pike's current girlfriend. Well, hit it, says Pike. Ah, but the odds are against Batel, and the situation is grim. So naturally, there's no better time for Spock to share his feelings. Sorry, my pointy-eared boo. I'm still studying with Roger Corby once this crisis has passed. Well, fine then. Spock turns his attention back to Batel's dilemma, and he has an idea. How about if we give the egg-impregnated captain with some of number one's genetically powered superblood? Odds for failure? 86%. Well, that's a little better. Hey, let's do it. What's up with the captured away team over on the Gorn destroyer? La'an is first to rip her way out of a gross fluid sac, connecting her and all the others directly to the Gorn feeding system.
Now, I have to say this because I will forget to say it later. Thank you, Matrix.
Oh, of course.
That whole scene about everybody being in the food things and coming out, they've got glop on them. Thank you, Matrix.
Well, and then, but thank goodness it's, on a TV budget, they got some very expensive saran wrap to put over it. Wrap.
A couple of shower curtains and we're good. All right, back to the beats. Well,
PTSD or no PTSD, she rescues the other crew members and they set off on a mission to rescue the cocooned colonists. Fortunately, they can retrieve phaser rifles from a big pile of dung, since the weapons can't be digested. But why didn't the Gorn disarm them before putting them into cocoons? Oh well. So now, all they need is the colonist transporter codes, then fight off a gaggle of Gorn, and finally carjack a ship to escape.
I'm sorry, but everyone, please. Eric Kramer as Ozzy Osbourne. Come on.
Easy peasy. Eric will be the pilot, although half her hand has been digested. Ugh. Pike decides to not flee back to Federation space, put on his big boy panties, and take on the Gorn at the source. And finally, it's time for Una and Uhura's busy work to pay off. It's their plan to turn the Enterprise into a giant simulated dinner bell, which will trick the Gorn into returning to their homeworld for hibernation. Sleep, Data. Sleep. Again, sorry. Wrong cliffhanger. In sickbay, Spock modifies the plan to save Batel. Instead of extracting the eggs, why not just feed them? Then, they'll just absorb into Batel. I mean, how bad can it be for Batel to have a bunch of Gorn DNA in her blood? After all, Picard has a bunch of Borg nanites in his, and he's doing just fine. Okay, enough the best of both world references.
There's a lot.
From here on out, the action is fast and furious. In space, the battle continues. On the Gorn ship, the loathsome lizards find the away team. One of them impales Ortegas. Una and Uhura's plan to put the Gorn to Betty Bye works. The Gorn fleet heads home for night-night. Poor Ortegas is bleeding like a stuck pig and is missing half a hand, but pilots the away team out. The miraculously retrieved transporter codes for the colonists are transmitted. Victory! Time for setting up upcoming episodes. Chapel heads out to join future love Roger Corby. Spock walks away sulking. Pike visits Batel. His prayer is interrupted as she awakens. They canoodle and recall this paraphrased sage from Doc Brown. The future hasn't been written yet. No one's has. The future is whatever we make it, so let's make it a good one. Tally-ho! Has a memorable scamp from the original series stopped by to cause a little mischief? Is it Trelane? The Squire of Gothos? Or a Q? Or someone else entirely? We'll find out. Maybe. As strange old trekkers indulge in some wedding bell blues. John.
Yeah.
3 months have passed.
Yes, sir.
I want everybody to know I'm not laughing at my own jokes.
Ah!
As I've said before, half of this easily is the music. And the turn just now to this theme cracks me up. That's all I had to say at this point.
Thank you very much. I went at it again to make some new music, and I got a nice theremin sound this time. And just wait till we get to the end of this episode.
Since the Gorn incident, the Enterprise is docked at Starbase 1, undergoing repairs. Also all fixed up is Ortega's hand. Holy Luke Skywalker, Batman! So it's time for a well-deserved break and spend time with family. Well, not actual family, but this episode sure starts off a lot like family. The episode in TNG which followed the Best of Both Worlds.
I'd forgotten that.
Hey, it's Federation Centennial time. Yes, folks, the year is 2261, and the UFP is 100 years young. But a certain impish rascal is on hand to change the nature of the celebration. He's in the mood for a wedding. Spock is getting dance lessons from La'an. Hey, no joke. This is as cute as Beverly the Dancing Doctor, likewise tripping the Light Fantastic with Data.
True.
Spock's lesson is interrupted by an announcement that Chapel is beaming aboard. So Christine Chapel appears, but with Roger Corby at her side. She's nervous. Spock is befuddled. Corby accepts a book from Spock meant as a gift for Christine. Awkward. Elsewhere, Ortegas is sparring with her visiting little bro. Uhura drops by, takes a shine to him, and the mutual flirting commences. In sickbay, Number 1 is giving the last of her blood donations to Captain Patel. She and Dr. Mabenga welcome a cool new ensign to the medical team. Pike and Patel are in his quarters as he prepares for the centennial celebration. He and Patel share some quiet, quality time as they ponder what the future might bring.
Oh boy.
Chapel tries to return Spock's book, but he insists that it was a gift. They have a heart-to-heart, which is largely one-sided, as Spock sulks some more. Hey Spock, there's always T'Pring waiting in the wings. Later, everyone's meeting for libations. They're charmed by the personable Dr. Corby. Well, all except Spock, who listens to the dapper Doc go on for a bit, then goes off to sulk yet again at the far end of the bar. The friendly barkeep, disguising himself as a fellow Vulcan, decides to give Spock a truly magical gift. Suddenly, reality has changed. Spock and Christine wake up in bed together. What the hell was in that drink? Spock's next dance lesson takes on added meaning. He and Christine are heading to the chapel, and they're going to get married. This time, the lesson is interrupted by the wedding planner's announcement that it's time for the rehearsal. No one seems to notice the change, except Corby, who is now Christine's best man. But he has little choice at that moment but to be confused and slink away as the wedding planner dismisses him. Later, Corby breaks into Spock's quarters and is caught red-handed. He's trying to find some answers to the mind-boggling reality twist. Well, Spock walks in, demanding answers of his own. Corby explains to Spock that reality has changed, but the Vulcan ain't having it. Then the Doc delves into some inappropriate comments, and Spock decks him. This strong outburst of emotion has broken Spock free of the shared delusion of trance, and he now remembers the actual reality as well. The mysterious wedding planner drops by to offer Spock his choice of formal nuptial wear. Well, Spock blows him off as he and Corby head over to the science lab to conduct a more detailed analysis of the mass delusion. They are interrupted there by Sam Kirk, who has come to retrieve Spock for his bachelor party. Hey, there'll be an Orion stripper there. Spock and Corby head over to Pike's quarters, hoping to convince the captain that everything going on is a ruse. Corby uses process of elimination to determine that the wedding planner is the out-of-place element. He and Spock head out to the port galley. Sam Kirk is disappointed that there will be no karaoke and no Orion stripper.
Oh.
Spock and Corby confront the whimsical wedding planner. They refuse to go along with the charade any longer. Well, the wedding planner throws a tantrum, snaps his fingers, and there is an instant red alert. Boy, talk about a bridezilla type. The next morning, the planner is at Spock's bedside. Wakey, wakey. Time for eggs and bakey. Oh, and your wedding, too. The planner snaps his fingers and puts a shrunken Spock into a drinking glass. And the rest of the crew will get much worse if Spock and Corby don't cooperate. Spock has a private convo with Corby, who is decked out in his 1970s sky blue tux and flower bonnet. Both are feeling pretty helpless right about now.
Thank you for making.
Time for the ceremony. Here comes the bride.
I'm sorry, what was that, Eric?
Thank you for making me sunny, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. I knew it was a good fit.
You know, I share a birthday with it while he's
Oh.
passed.
All right.
But we had the same birthday. We actually communicated a little bit back in the old Twitter days.
Awesome.
I'll tell you what, that little girl with the pink hair ribbon that is actually Eric, that's my favorite part. That's where my eye
Oh,
keeps
that's
going.
the character in the wedding here.
And I also love the fact that my face on these ladies, they really do look like family members. It's sweet. It's very sweet. All right,
good.
we're almost done. Here we go.
All dressed in green chiffon. Turns out the wedding planner is also the officiator. He begins the outlandish ceremony. Spock tries to warn Christine that it's all fakery, but is hushed. Well, Corby can't take it anymore. He objects. The wedding planner is irked and turns Corby into a bulldog. And nobody seems surprised. Spock continues his vows, reciting poetry he learned from Corby earlier. It brings Christine to tears. It is this very emotional moment that shakes her out of her delusion. She attempts to run to her real boyfriend, who is now a dog. Now the wedding planner is really pissed. Everyone...
I just want to say, a bulldog wearing the powder blue tuxedo.
Of course.
That terrible tuxedo. It's, the fact that they found it in bulldog. They found it in a bulldog size. That's, oh, I just loved it. Oh.
Guys, get ready for a cavalcade of death, y'all. There'll be no yummy wedding cake tonight. The planner is taunting various persons in the audience. Then, a bright blue ball of light appears. Only then does everyone suspect that things may not be as they seem. The blue ball of light speaks. Turns out the wedding planner is an 8,000-year-old child. Sorry, make that 8,020 years old. He's been a very bad boy, and it's time to go home and face the music once again. The planner reveals he did it just to annoy Corby. He frees everyone of the delusion. Tally-ho, says Trelane, or the Squire of Gothos, or Q, or whoever. Then he himself turns into a blue ball of light and heads out with Dad. Pike makes an awkward speech about Federation Day and announces, "Hey gang, the bar is still open." There they meet the lovely three-armed alien bartender. Pike offers her a job in the Enterprise and she happily accepts. Chapo and Corby have a heart-to-heart. Uhura and Ortega's little bro have a little more flirty time. And now, Spock is in better spirits, as La'an asks him to dance. The festivities hit high gear, as everyone jitterbugs and boogies to a 300-year-old song from Wham! Oh, but there is one last bit of foreshadowing. A disturbed Ortegas leaves the party to spar with the old punching bag. As the episode ends, she has a vision of a bad old Gorn. To be continued.
And there you go. Oh my God. Oh, I can't believe we got through it. Woo. All right, let's talk about it. Let's break it on down. Let's get down and dirty. Does anybody want to go first? Because if not, I have a question that might cause you a lot of pain, but get the conversation started.
Well, let's hear your question, John.
Yes,
Okay.
perfect.
All right. Here's my question. Is there anything that happened in those 2 hours of new Star Trek that you watched? Is there anything that happened that you have not seen before?
No, next question.
Nope. No question.
I mean, good Lord. First, let's get through part 2 of Hegemony, which is the Gorn story. Again, there's pieces of Matrix, there's pieces of Alien and Aliens and Alien 3. There's pieces of so many things we've seen before in movies and other TV shows, like not even in the Star Trek universe, like so much of a mishmash. Did it bother you, or were you able to stumble your way through it? I'm going to ask Joe Townsell first. Did it bother you, restricting you from enjoying yourself?
I think I got acclimated to this approach in season 2, so it's not as much of a shock to my system now. I mean, if you're going to steal from the best, even if that means other franchises or your own, which they did too.
Right.
I mean, so then it comes down to a question of execution. Was it at least done well?
Right.
Not really. At times it looked cheap. It just smacked like, okay, this was done before, back in the 80s and 90s, but better.
Yeah.
And I'm going to draw a comparison. I don't want to jump ahead to episode 2, but it's a related observation. Whenever we're on the Enterprise or a similar setup like Starbase 1 in this case, this show looks gorgeous. The sets are wonderful. I love them. The space scenes, especially as shown in Hegemony, it looks like a friggin' cartoon. It is so fake looking. Why is the Enterprise, which is a huge exploration battleship type, doing barrel rolls in space? It's not realistic. And with that, I'm going to turn over to Mr. Kramer.
Mr. Kramer, how did you feel? Were you able to enjoy yourself
at the end of the show? There's a difference between an homage, and maybe they won't realize we're fucking stealing from everything else, which is what it tended to feel like, the latter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I agree with Joe too. Like, you get like the CGI stuff that suddenly goes to a practical set, and none of it fucking jives.
Yeah.
That episode 2, Down on the Planet, you can tell they're shooting in that new oh my God, I've forgotten what it's called. But they had those new screens.
I think that's AR. I think they were calling that,
where they create other worlds. So you can tell they're shooting on that. The ships in the sky look terrible, but whatever. I can get past all that.
Sure.
I just
another face and paw moment.
I mean, I really don't know quite where to start with this, other than what I just started with at the beginning of the show. My God, could we just, for one episode, pretend that we're in charge of a starship? But that aside, by the way, I loved number 1 in both episodes.
Yeah.
Love number 1. If there is somebody who looks like they're trying to play by the rules, it's her. Like, she's fantastic.
Yeah.
I completely buy her in that role. The way she handled everything,
Yeah.
I gotta say, huge fan. Huge fan.
I have never liked Rebecca Romaine as much as I like her in this.
And may I make a brief observation before I forget? This is an intriguing element that I hope they are going to follow up on. Isn't it ironic that number one's blood is used to save Patel, who was number one's prosecutor when she was on trial last year?
Oh,
That's
you
right.
know,
Oh my
I gotta-
God, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I got to give Raphael credit. Quite a while back there, he pointed that out, and that is a nice circle back. That's a nice, little bit of continuity within this show. And I thought it was a fairly decent Star Trek type of solution to a problem.
Well, like it was 30 years ago on TNG.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys remember TNG the way I remember it, but the way I remember it, especially with the people I was hanging out with, because I was doing comedy a lot, and a lot of us were Star Trek fans. And we weren't catching the show all the time. So we'd be like, oh, hey, did you catch Star Trek this week? Next Generation. And it was always like, yeah, they brought back Trelane. They call it the Q. Yeah, they did this thing. It's totally wrong. Yeah, there's a Klingon. He's on the bridge. I mean, a lot of the sort of borrowing from TOS to TNG, people were very not impressed by that. Which makes me so sad that here we are again seeing it happen, and the production of the show is leaning way into it. Oh, let's take something from TOS, and let's take something from TNG, and let's take something from here, take something from there. And I don't know that I ever felt any of this was original.
But not so much that as in, why take this stuff?
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, we've had this argument forever doing our Star Trek show.
Like this, honest to God, episode 2 was like, look, and the majority of this for me all falls on this Spock character because Spock has always been the anchor of the Star Trek franchise. Always. Even into the movies.
Yep.
And
Big
even
part.
as he got towards the end of his career and his life, Spock was always the anchor in this series. And in this version, he couldn't be fucking farther from that. Like honest to God, the fucking welling up, the fucking tears, fucking sitting by himself at the bar. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Is this because, and I'm borrowing, look, I went back and I watched it again, and I know you guys don't like it, but I love it. I love the Lower Decks crossover into Strange New Worlds. I just love it. Right. And there is a moment where they're looking at the two characters from Lower Decks, and I believe it is Una who says to Pike, their references are so oddly specific. And they do it again. And it's like, there's such a small amount of time that they draw their references from. Doesn't that seem strange to you? And it never stops. It never stops on this show. They are constantly pulling things that we saw in the 80s. It's like, why would people in the future be so attached to the 80s?
Well, why are people in the future so attached to the 80s, like Wham in particular? Now, there's one thing I want to say about the Spock character as written, going along with Eric's point.
Yeah.
It's on the internet if you look at some of the fan sites. Well, this is a younger Spock than what we saw on TOS. Bullshit. Because
it is right.
Because he's not that much younger. At this point in time, he is within 4 years of serving under Kirk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And given the fact that he's already served the Pike for 18 years, as we learned in the Cage, and the fact that Vulcans are long-lived, so conceivably would mature faster than boys. So I'm sorry. I have to double down on that. I mean, as written, the Spock character here is hard to take sometimes, and as we're going to see in the next episode, it was especially hard.
The thing that freaks me out with the Spock usage, especially in Wedding Bell Blues, because I feel like maybe we're there as we're talking. We're in Wedding Bell Blues. Shirtless. We got to start off shirtless.
Why do we need a shirtless Spock? What the fuck?
Because he's hot Spock.
Yeah, he's a young, good-looking actor, and we saw that in the premiere episode. For goodness' sake, that was his first scene practically.
He was oiled up in that scene, if I believe.
Just the way Spring likes him.
Like great looking guy, fine.
Yeah.
But what? It's so, you know what I mean? It's so fucking left field. Like all of this is like, what are you doing to this character? And not him. I don't mean the actor. I mean the situations that he is put in.
It really seems that they need this Spock to go through all of these kind of Dawson's Creek storylines, you know, but the problem I have with it is you are stealing from TOS, you're stealing the thunder from the unrequited love that Nurse Chapel had for Spock.
Yes,
that Spock could never reciprocate. And I know they've tried to do this whole thing with like, oh, you know, his emotions are uneven because of all the things he's been through on Strange New Worlds. Are you buying that, Joe?
No, because somebody in the current guard saw Amok Time. Well, that's interesting. Those two will be interesting together. And so now we got this.
Yeah.
As I said before, I mean, to me, the bigger transgression of continuity is not the look. It is not even a lot of the events. It's the characterizations, to be clear.
That's
the one aspect where I would personally would insist on continuity.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we're going to get a visual reboot. I mean, we can't make it look the same as it did 60 plus years ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But come on. I mean, this is, as Leonard Nimoy might have said, this is not Spock. I am not Spock. But,
well, it's certainly illogical.
And I'm going to step back for just a minute. I don't want to get off the topic, but before we get too far away from Hegemony Part 2, I touched on this last week. I don't think I'm going to be proven wrong. I'm a Carol Kane fan. I hate this character. Why did they kill off Himmer, a very interesting character, and put her in this place? I mean, again, we talked about the shock value of killing off a main character back then.
Yes. Yeah.
But I swear, every time that poor Carol Kane spoke, my skin crawled for some reason. She sounds horrible. And I'm sorry. I'm really anxious for Scotty to take her place soon. So,
well, let's jump over to that.
The one good sort of plot point that came out in the whole exchange between the two of them was Scotty not being anywhere near as good,
right,
than he is in a life and death situation.
Right.
That's actually a really cool character trait.
And not out of character,
you know
which is important.
Like, if you sort of give Scotty time to figure it out, he can't fucking do it.
Right. Right.
Scotty, we're going to blow in 2. Oh! Mix. I really do love that as a character thing. Like, I think it's a great... I mean, and I guess, like, looking in hindsight, even all the way back to TOS, it was always kind of true, but it was nice. It was nice to see that and know that that's part of who that guy is.
No, I totally agree. And again, importantly, it's not out of character. It's just an early evolution of the character, which is right. Perfect for this show. I wish we had that consistency with the other characters. I have to say, as far as the pros go for me, for Wedding Bell Blues, as shallow as they may seem, I wasn't kidding in the beats. I thought the dance scenes with Spock and Lon were very charming. I liked them a lot.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
I loved it. I loved it. Now, it certainly does not hurt that the actress looks so incredible and she can dance.
Absolutely. And who knows? Maybe there's something in for the two of them. I would like to see that.
You know what? I found myself since Star Trek Strange has now become Grey's Anatomy. I find myself cheering for the show like I'm watching Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
Now I'm like that whole dance. I'm like, oh God, I hope those two hook up. Like that's where I'm at now.
And what a sweet scene at the very end with the two of them.
Like
Yes.
you haven't given me Star Trek, so okay, then give me a real soap opera. You know,
I actually kicked and screamed from episode 1 of Strange New Worlds. I did not like the character of La'an. I didn't like the too much mascara, and she's all very emo, and no one can know what she went through because and it has that character has grown so much. And you're going to hate me for this, but I can tell you exactly when I fell in love with her. Exactly. It was in that stupid episode that they shot in Toronto in
I knew it.
2022.
Okay. Yeah.
Where she falls in love with Jim Kirk. And that to me, because I'm such an old time fan, I was like, well, of course she fell in love with Jim Kirk. Women fall in love with Jim Kirk like that. That happens all the time. So it's very within her character. And now that's a burden that she carries, but she's not going to tell anybody about it. She's not going to sit around and moon and be all sad.
Well,
I hope somebody asks me about Jim Kirk. That's not her character.
Well, she's the consummate professional. I mean, when the show started, I had trouble telling the difference between her and Ortega's because they had a similar look and somewhat similar mannerisms, but unlike Ortega's, who she can be fun from time to time, but she's largely a pain in the ass and totally insubordinate. And La'an, by contrast, is a consummate professional. I admire that about her.
And La'an, of course, she's been mentored by Una, which is another thing that I like about her, and they have that relationship. I've always liked that. But Christina Chong, just to jump back very quickly to part 2 of Hegemony, the amount of growing up that actor has done, I didn't hate any moments with her at all that I've seen like in the last year, but certainly in these last 2 episodes. I think she's really carrying off this stuff well, even the silly stuff.
And I think, gentlemen, we can all agree, I think, again, on the pro side of the column, Celia Gooden looks absolutely stunning in this episode. Don't you agree?
Celia Gooden.
Uhura.
Oh.
She always has. I've loved her. I've loved her interpretation of the character. I love that look. I love the way she carries herself.
Loved her relationship with Hammer.
I've really I've loved I loved her playing that character since episode 1.
Yeah, she looked amazing in that wedding outfit that she.
Well, that, of course, that's what. I refer to that. I refer to the little walk down the corridor.
Stuff to do.
Yeah,
she handled it. You know what I mean? She handled it well. Like she didn't give in. She didn't give in to where they were trying to lead her. Like she would. Like she stayed true to the course, and I love that in an actor.
Now I'm gonna ask one continuity question of you gentlemen.
Yeah.
Are we supposed to believe just because Trelane wasn't mentioned by name that Cock would have no memory of him in the original series, which came later?
It bothers me so much that James Kirk's Enterprise encounters the Gorn and they've never heard of them.
Right.
They have no knowledge of the Gorn are territorial, that they're, powerful warriors. They had no knowledge of this at all. So that wasn't like logged, that no one wrote a report. And then,
but I mean, they've been all over the fucking timeline from Balance of Terror to Like seriously.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and I get it, and that's fine. And make this, you know what I mean? Like I'm not one of these diehard, although it certainly sounds that way, the way I talk about the Spock character. I'm not one of these diehard canon guys. Like, okay, this is your show. Make this your show.
Yeah.
I just think there are better choices than pulling the Gorn out. Yeah,
At least I guess this is at least a more inexperienced Trelane, because as a Q, he snaps his fingers, but he hasn't developed the little light effect yet to go with it.
and really, he always wanted to be a wedding planner. What the fuck?
Well, apparently, he had a little crush on Corby.
He's him. It's like, I'm challenging you to a duel. Like, it's real. You know what I mean? It's like real, like boyhood. Oh my God, this is going to be so great. Wedding planner?
Reese
Like, travels all that fucking way.
Reese Darby, the actor who plays him, who
I love Reese Darby, by the way. Jesus, this has nothing to do with him as an actor.
I actually really love what they did, where he is kind of he's very gay coded, and so he's interested in the cake and the wedding and the this and the that. I mean, he wants to be a wedding planner, and he does it in a very flamboyant way.
Episode?
What's that?
Okay, fine, but as a Star Trek episode?
Look, I don't think they should have done that at all. Trelane is Trelane. I don't think they should have given us a pre-Trelane.
Right.
The nicest break that I can make for them is maybe that wasn't Trelane. Maybe all of the children of the Q act like that.
That could be.
Oh yeah, I mean, that thought occurred as well. It's another kid in that species, and that kid's father. But again, we can dismiss the continuity glitch, obviously. But again, even if it was a different character than Trelane, there would be a report that Spock could pull up later when they encounter Trelane.
Well, Bach does say this, which is funny, which is reports get written and filed and no one ever reads them. But Jim Kirk, we know from the first episode of the series, was a walking pile of books when he was at the Academy. He would have studied a lot of things. He could have known this stuff, but whatever.
I never believed that anyway. I think Mitchell.
You know what?
exaggerating.
This is. I think it says something about the writing and the direction of the show when our discussion spirals off into this shit, as opposed to the meat of the episode. Do you know what I mean? Like I says, it says I think it says volumes. That we've sort of talked about everything but the actual two shows.
If you just give me a remix, I'm not going to forget the things that you put into the remix. If you can't pull an original stuff out, and I've been screaming about this forever, and I'm sorry everybody's heard it over and over, but it didn't have to be the Gorn. It could have been another monster. You didn't have to. This didn't have to be a Trelane. You could have pulled it out in a different way. You could have. I mean, shoot. Even in okay, so the second Star Trek movie, Wrath of Khan. You've got Khan again, but he's different. He's changed. He's matured and aged and rotted in his hatred. It's not recreating what was already created. Anyway, look, let's say something nice. Let's do MVPs. I don't think you guys are going to be surprised. Mine is Christina Chong as La'an.
That was a quick reveal.
Absolutely delightful. I have an old man crush that is so obvious. But Eric, let's let you start this one off. Who's your MVP?
I think I already let it out. Number one. even though not a lot of screen time, not a lot of, I just like, thank fucking Christ, there's somebody who is sort of playing to what that world should be
And doing the
you
work.
know, aboard the USS, you know,
The phony prize.
Joe, who's your MVP from this last watching that we did?
Well, I'm going to have two because there were two episodes distinct. Even though I'm not crazy about the character a lot of the time, in terms of the events depicted here, however rushed and implausible they may have been at times, got to say Ortegas was probably the MVP for Hegemony Part 2. I mean, she wasn't Schmel saving all those colonists in themselves.
Right.
As far as Wedding Bell Blues, I'm going to give it to, you mentioned the actor's name. Please remind me when I'm mentioning
Reese
him.
Darby.
Thank you. Yes, I do like, loved his interpretation. Very fun character to watch. He made the episode fun, in my opinion. I mean,
it's a lot of fun.
You know, it was enjoyable to watch. I got to say. I mean, implausible, stupid a lot of the time, but I enjoyed watching the episode more than the other, and he was a big part of that experience.
I would have given some love to Chapel's fellow there, Roger
Corby, yes.
Roger Corby, but I didn't like the actor. They apparently the same amount of mascara that goes on La'an, they put on him, and he's like the Temu Chris O'Dowd.
Well, plus, how much is he going to age in the next 5 years when he appears in What Are Little Girls Made Of? I mean, my God.
I didn't see any hint at all in that character. It was just so like winsome and cute the way, I mean, you know, look, the actor did his best. He absolutely did his best, but it was not the guy that we see in What Are Little Girls Made Of, which freaked me out as a kid, by the way.
Of course.
That episode was very freaky.
Well, it freaked you out and then roused you because it had Lurch, but it also had I forget the actress, but you know who I mean.
Oh, what, the one with the two crepe paper strips?
Yeah,
that were her top. All right, well, you know what time it is. Surely there's some Townsville's tidbit that we can enjoy from these, Mr. Townsville.
Well, I did glean a couple. I'm going to give credit to our one of our favorite websites, trekmovie.com, for a couple of these because, like I said, it's a challenge to get up to the minute stuff on our shows as we watch them during Strange New Worlds.
Fast.
And what can I tell you? Well, as we already know, this was the series' first, maybe not last, 2-part episode with a cliffhanger stretching across 2 friggin' years.
Yep.
I did enjoy, and I did pick this one up on my own. I did enjoy the updated title sequence with the new scenes. We get hints. We saw Starbase 1 in there. We saw a Klingon vessel, which gives us a hint of what might be to come later in the season. And it just looks nice. A little bit less CGI phony, in my opinion, as far as the clips selected. From Trek Movie, I found this interesting. X-class flares and super arcade downflows are real stellar phenomena. Did you know that?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. And I'm going to give you just one more tonight. This, I'm going to go over to Wedding Bell Blues for this. I missed it. You guys may have picked up on it either here on screen or in the audience. But the cute little bartender at the very end who got a job on the Enterprise, a character named Kelzing, played by Kira Golian. She was the first live-action Edosian. Anyway, what I'm getting to is this is the same tripedal race we saw back in the animated series. Remember that guy?
There was that guy.
She is of that species.
He was at the con. He was I think he was
the helmsman.
Oh, he was
yes.
3 arms. He was voiced by James
anyway, so this girl is of his species. So I thought that was cool. And I of course I know it's the third arm, but I just didn't make the connection until I saw that online. So anyway, a few little tidbits for you. So there you go.
Also, you've got John Delancey playing the "Come Home, Son, Come Home."
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yes,
Can't
sir.
miss
Well, see,
that
forget-
voice.
Paramount
And
Plus
not
always cuts off the
that
credits too.
They cut off the credits. That's such a pain in the ass. I'm sorry, Eric. What were you saying?
No. I said you can't. There's no mistaking that voice.
No, I missed
And
it.
it has to be, that has to be insanely intentional.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
Of course.
and Delancey, he's just like, a job? Yes.
Well,
No, true,
like
but I
we
mean,
all
it does kind of cement further that we are dealing with the Q here on some level.
Yes, exactly. Which was a nice little circular thing too, because people have always had that argument of like, was Trelane a member of the Q? Well, he's not similar to the Q. How could that be true? And they explain it in this one, which is like, this is what child Qs are like. And
if you think back, I made a connection, at least mentally, to Q Jr. way back in Voyager when he had his son.
oh, that's right.
And he was very, very much a bad little boy in that episode too. But of course, he just wanted to see 7 of 9 naked, so you can't blame him. Come on.
Eric, what do you think of Raphael's comment here? Scale for 15 minutes in a booth.
yes, but who wouldn't fucking do that these days?
And John Delancey loves to work. I've worked with him on a made for Disney Channel movie called You Lucky Dog. He played like the main bad guy. And he was very funny. He loves to work.
Yeah, I dig him as an actor, man. I remember loving him on Days of Our Lives.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. He was the soap guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, I dig him, man. I really dig him as an actor. I think I really like his choices. Like as Q, he was always fun to watch. Always fun to watch.
Yeah,
I really dig him as an actor.
Oh, and I got to mention, as far as a guest starring appearance on the 80s Twilight Zone, along with Brent Spiner. They're in the same story, but they didn't share a scene.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, got to check that out one of these days.
And I did forget one tidbit, although it was pretty obvious to anyone. But I thought it was kind of cool that even though it's a little unrealistic that far out in the future, that Corby would make reference to "It's a Good Life" from the old Twilight Zone.
He's going to send us out to the cornfield. And he's just about to explain it to Spock. It's from an old, and like someone cuts him off. That's really funny.
Like you want to know, I tell you what, the biggest thing that drove me crazy and makes me go, why this for a second episode? Was there anything at stake? No. Let's say they got married.
Yeah.
And then he leaves and everybody goes, what was that? Everything goes right back to normal.
I think they just needed a situation where the Enterprise is like laid up and they have to be stationary somewhere.
Right.
That's all I can come up with as far as.
Well, let's brainstorm for 2 minutes, and I bet you we come up with 10 solid storylines. Like there was absolutely nothing at stake. There was sort of this desperation of, we have to fix this before they get married. I'm like, okay, I guess.
I don't know how I feel about there being so much boyfriending and girlfriending.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Well, it is the USS Grey's Anatomy.
There you go. And that's the answer to that. Why does it exist? Because, and I really think they are going for a couples show, just like Grey's Anatomy. I mean, it's a good joke, Eric, but I think you're right.
No. I'm like, look, if that's the show I'm watching, then I'm going to start cheering for it in that way. Dude, I watched Grey's Anatomy for 8 years. I've absolutely nothing against the format. I've got nothing against shows like that.
Right.
I watched Grey's Anatomy solidly for 8 fucking years and was involved in the stories. So look, if this is what Star Trek is going to be, then that's just how I'll start watching it.
But you know where this seems to occur, in my opinion?
What's
not
that?
the Enterprise. Let's not have a soap opera here. We got Starfleet Academy. We're still going to get that, at least for some length of time before Paramount changes.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be the natural setting with a bunch of young cadets to pair up and have incestuous relationships with all their classmates? I don't know. I mean, I'd rather just not have that here.
We're just going to take the character of Spock and completely throw it out the fucking window.
Well,
And
I
just
mean,
make him stop.
It's a do-over, dude.
Tell
It's
me.
a do-over.
You tell me how
And
this
Eric,
Spock.
I'm sure you've seen the news, Eric.
Spock, any version of Spock we've seen so far. Jesus fucking Christ! This we got. Hey, Captain. Listen, I just want you to know I'm all in to help your girlfriend here. Christine is going to be downstairs, right? Yeah. No. Matter of fact, I'm going to go down there now. Oh, is she dying? Hang on a second. Listen, I just want to say, like, fuck, come on.
That is very Grey's Anatomy.
Well,
I'm gonna save your girlfriend. While I
here's a confirmed fact and a rumor that will definitely appeal to Eric. Confirmed fact that Strange New Worlds will end with Kirk taking command, which so create that loop.
Well, that makes complete
And there is,
sense.
of course, a rumor that we're going to redo the original series with these actors. So you can look forward to that. Sir.
I expect nothing. I expect nothing less, which makes me even angrier.
I knew it would. I couldn't help poking the bear a little bit.
You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, then just don't like. Why have these? And listen, there are certainly some of those characters there are absolutely rooted in the characters that we've grown up with. Certainly Uhura, right?
Yeah.
I love number one.
Yeah.
There's just there's lots to like about this show. And again, I feel like I'm coming across like an asshole, but I really am cheering for this, as I would cheer for, any show. Like, I really want these actors to succeed. I want the stories to succeed. I want the show to succeed. This isn't me just shitting on things.
Well,
this is me, an old man that has grown up, with something like well over 50 years ago now, that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm
going to tell you a scene that you enjoyed. I know you enjoyed this. So Hot Spock is trying to break people out of this shared delusion through emotions. And so he insults Sam Kirk and he makes fun of his mustache. And the guy,
and but you know what I loved about that scene was he did it as fucking Spock.
Yeah.
like
That's
you
the thing. Ethan Peck can be Spock. He can do it. We know he can do it.
I love
It's
the
a
actor.
script.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great casting when he got cast. I still think it's great casting.
Yes.
It just drives me crazy how they write that character.
All right,
guys, you know what? We've got 8 episodes left this season. I only know of 2 that look really dopey. So who knows? Maybe next week we'll get some of the things we're looking for in this show.
Let's take a look at something that Joe made for us. This is something Joe and I have been saying we need this forever. Let's take a look at it.
Weber Internet thingy. Weber Internet thingy. Weber Internet thingy. Come on, check this out. Weber Internet thingy. Weber Internet thingy. Weber Internet thingy. The good times are never in doubt. Weber Internet thingy. Come on and join the fun. Weber Internet thingy.
Be sure to join us this Sunday, Retro Rangers. Oh, next Tuesday. Match Collars with Sexy Chino, my favorite wrestler of all time. Then
Get away from that big mean world.
we got our next episode coming up, right? There we go.
I love the band, by the way.
Oh, right.
That looks amazing, Joe.
And
Hey, if you are not liked and subscribed, I can't believe I forgot to do this earlier. Please, by all means, like and subscribe. Okay, gentlemen, I think that's it. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to the chat. Tell your friends. Make sure you're liked and subscribed. And I think we are just about out of here.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm exhausted.
This was a lot. I'm not even trying to be funny. This was a lot. So let's get out of here. Thank you, Eric. Everybody, let's get out of here.
Oh, it's the strange old tracker. Tell us what you think. Strange old tracker. Is it great? Or does a strange old tracker?
Thanks, everybody.
Be a strange old tracker. Share your thoughts, even if they're waiting. Oh, it's the strange old trackers. Come join the strange old trackers. Oh, it's the strange old trackers.
JoeTownsville.com